So if I can just begin, Stephen, by talking about AMPED Volume 3. Obviously, it was officially released yesterday, so all the people who have pre-ordered would have received their copies and be excitedly waiting for the results. So for those who haven't bought it yet and who are expecting to, wanting to, what sort of shifts in their awareness do you think they can expect in the coming weeks? And anything else you want to see about AMPED Volume 3 as well?
Well, you're going to have to stop me if I get going here, because if I actually get going here, talking about it, if I can wind up to the theme properly, you'll have to stop me when I go on too long, because otherwise it would be maybe a bit self-indulgent, which is, so it's like the first part of it is I'm serving this flow, and the feeling as a human, I know you have it too, is to serve you, to give you something. And without Volume 3, well, all of them, with all the AMP volumes, but this one I think more, because once you get to 3, something happens with that. It's a magical number, and it was a process leading to it that was quite amazing, and it's all happened ridiculously fast. Let me just say, the whole thing started when I had to go to have surgery, 6 hours of surgery in Switzerland. 6 hours, I had to cut my stomach open because I was going to be dead in an hour if they didn't do it. Wow. It was some mad inflammatory bowel disorder that happened all out of the blue. And I was out of my body for 6 hours. And when I came to, about the second day in intensive care, I had my laptop and a pair of headphones. And I started just messing about, and the sound started coming through. It wasn't like unlike anything I'd ever done before, but it was definitely a major quantum leap on from anything I'd done before. It had a certain feeling to it that I'd never heard. And we make a drama out of it, but it really felt like it was pushing itself through me. And it's called AMPED. It's like, why AMPED? You'll find out. It's just called AMPED. Go with it. And it will be a whole big multimedia offering with visuals and a book and music, the whole thing. And it will be your way of teaching everything that you do in a non-didactic way, in a way that, and the other thing it said to me as well, that it would all be in the first person. So it would all be in the shape of affirmations. And that's really interesting, because I've never heard anything like that before. For example, if I was going to do a guided meditation for you, which we'll do, I hope, in this session, I'll go like, okay, now you relax and feel calm and so on and so forth. Whereas what this is doing is saying, I am relaxed, I'm feeling calm, I'm letting my breath slow down, and so on. And I know that works, because there was a thing called autogenics in the 80s, where they had this biofeedback machines, and there was a little routine you did. So I know that the basic principle worked, but I've never done it like this, never heard it like this, never seen it like this. So it was really interesting following the instructions. This is what I'm doing. And when I'm making the stuff, I was going to say, basically, within a year, have produced the equivalent of over 18 LPs in 1 year. I mean, 18. And their quality, I don't know if any, people probably agree. It's not like it was bish, bash, bosh rubbish. It was really like, I mean, I've never done anything like it in my life. It was like, and it was relaxing, but it's been 12 to 18 hours a day for about a year of just, and fast, like I've never seen anything like it. It was doing it for me. And I'd find out, this happens a lot. I'm looking at the screen and it goes, that synthesizer, you haven't used that one for a bit. You need to go in there and go into that section of presets, click on that one. And I do it. In fact, that's the sound. It's like, wow. And it would just be one thing after another like that. And the frequency design that's in there, that evolved itself as well. It kind of told me what to do. It's really, really weird, the whole thing, when I think about it, although at the time it feels really normal and natural. So there's this really quite intense frequency thing. You don't feel it intense. It's very much like interwoven into the sound. And I found a way of filtering it so that it doesn't overwhelm, but that when there's nothing else happening, it comes right up for you and you can feel it. You feel it all the time. Then there is the subliminal thing that even developed itself as it went along. It kind of showed me different, because basically you've got, I've never really counted, but in each kind of volume, there's probably about 50 really important themes, affirmation themes. And so at one point in any of the volumes, you've got about 50 affirmations running next to each other, but staggered. So every gap, there's a word from the other affirmation. And I pan them in different ways. They go left to right, right. So they keep moving. So you get this incredible sound carpet with sentences that appear that you didn't say, that are made up of the words of the different. And it really does. It's like it's got a mind of its own. Really, really, really powerful. And then the same thing with the actual audible narrative. if I sat and wrote something in a contrived way, right, what I need to cover here is these aspects of life, these qualities internally. We need to cover all those. And let's go at it methodically and make sure that we like kind of use rhyming or whatever, but do it in a contrived sort of way. It would have been very different. Whereas this, I know the areas we've got to cover, but it dictated what needed to be said. And quite often I'd get it, write it down, then record it, and think, that's really weird. That's unusual. I wouldn't normally say it like that. That's really interesting. Like, it was like watching somebody else do something the whole way through. And I feel like that now. I feel honored to be the shepherd of it. That's what it feels like. I was the shepherd of this thing, or the midwife, if you like. The creator of it really doesn't feel like me. It feels like something coming through. I mean, that might all sound like grandiose nonsense, but it isn't. It isn't. It really genuinely feels like a force, a spirit that is urging its way through me. And I feel very privileged that I was able to be the one to do it. I heard that on when I was 6 years old.
Yes.
And I was lying on my bed one afternoon, and it would have about that long, but multiplied by a million and much deeper and really profound. And I was 6 years old. I didn't know what an om was, but I didn't know that was the background radiation wave, the sound wave of existence. But I knew that when in my mind, I went, "Oh, that's God talking." And the message was, "This is the connection. You have the connection. You have to remind everybody else that we all have this connection to it through the sound and any other means that you can come up with." I think that was my interpretation of it at the time. But yeah, okay, sound. You have to somehow tell everybody that this is it. We're all connected through this.